Wearing my hat only for one reason, and that's because when I see my video over here on the YouTube screen, I want to make sure that it is. Oh, let me turn this off. To make sure that it's still backwards. I turned on the mirror, my home screen, and my video is still backwards. Is it? No, I don't think so. Yeah, it is. Anyway, we're here. I'm going to turn the volume off here and start my stream over again. I've got my, in fact, let me move this back just a little bit because I think that it is in my shot. I've got my iMac over here so I can keep up with the chat. Hey, Robin. And we'll kind of get started. A couple of disclaimers as always, and that is, Queensland, Australia, welcome. And that is that I've turned monetization off during the live stream, so hopefully you won't be inundated with a bunch of ads. Good morning, Rhonda. And once the live stream is over, I'll try to remember to go back and turn that on. The last live stream that I did, actually it was the live stream, I think, with Ron and me over on the Life in Motion Diaries channel. I think that's where we were. I forgot to turn monetization on until after I had over like 500 views. So, hey, good morning, everyone. Ron, out on another walk. I expect to hear something about the live stream in today's video. So yeah, we are, in fact, I'm going to take this off now that I've sort of realized what's going on here. We are starting month number 7, so we are halfway through the year, and that is, that's a big milestone. So a few things, just a few things up front before I lose everybody on the replay. This is July 1st, and the Aspiring Content Creator Grant application is still open, but it's only open until the end of July 4th. So somewhere early on July 5th, around 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, whenever I wake up, I will turn off responses to that application. So if you are a content creator, or if you know a content creator with at least one video and less than 1,000 subscribers, and they feel like, or you feel like, you could use some equipment or some training or whatever else to help improve the quality of your videos, I would highly recommend that you apply for that grant. I have 3 people who will judge that grant. I do not judge that. They will judge it based on a rubric, a matrix, and they will score everything. And then all that I do is I sort of average all those scores together to see who the winners are. Well, Ron, you know, technically on your All Things Ron channel, you qualify. However, you'd have to recuse yourself from voting on the winners. So let's see, Christchurch, New Zealand. You know, New Zealand is sort of on my bucket list. It's down the list a ways, but it's on my bucket list because it's just so gorgeous. Australia, you know, everything in Australia can kill you, and so I'm not really that interested in Australia. But New Zealand, yeah, I think I'd like to go to New Zealand sometime. North Louisiana, I have been to North Louisiana, so give me just a second. I'm gonna turn this light down just a little bit. I'm kind of overexposed here. I'll be right back. That's a little better. I have my studio light here because I've got all the other lights in the apartment off. I was trying to do something a little different with the video, and normally in the studio I have this set on about 30% power, and I've had to turn it down to about 10% power so it doesn't make my face look plastic and overly red. If you are struggling with trying to get skin tones better filming on your iPhone, adjust the EV down to -1. I think that you'll find that that's a big thing. Take a little bit of the light out. Let's see. So the Content Creator Grant, it will close on July 4th, technically July 5th, the early morning of July 5th. Channel memberships, we have 17 members so far. And just as a reminder, it's $1.99 a month. You will get 2 extra members-only videos and 1 extra members-only live stream. In July, I'm planning on that live stream being at the 100th anniversary of the Scopes trial in Dayton, Tennessee. I did a video from there on the Life in Motion Diaries channel. If you're not familiar with the Scopes trial, you may be familiar with, I think the movie's title is Inherit the Wind, with Spencer Tracy. It is the trial about evolution in schools, Monkey Town. So this is the 100th anniversary of that trial. Very interesting. They've got a whole lot of stuff planned downtown. The whole downtown is going to be shut off for this massive celebration and it's like a week long. I'm going to take a day and go over there. I think Ron's going to join me to do some photography that day. So our live stream will be from there for the members. That $1.99 a month doesn't come to me. That's how I'm going to be funding the Aspiring Content Creator Grant moving forward. So I always try to make that clear that this is not a money grab on my part. This is so I don't have to do any more affiliate videos. And we can sort of all work together to fund this grant for people that might need it. So what else? What other housekeeping things do I need to talk about? The store, the New Retired Me Printify store. Thank you to Deborah, who just placed an order for the new Life in Motion Diaries diary from there a few days ago. That is in production and should be shipped tomorrow in case you're watching this live stream. Should be shipped on July 2nd. So let me know somewhere in a comment or something what you think about it when you get it. It's a brand new thing. You're the first one to order it besides me. Cook on a live stream. You know, that's not a bad idea. I might even try that, Ron. If I can think of something worth cooking, where I don't have to move the camera around, that would be pretty good. I just did a cooking video dropped yesterday on the Life in Motion Diaries channel on cooking a double bacon, double cheeseburger. I'm experimenting over there with color grading, and so far it's not great, but I'm trying to learn to use my iPhone a little more professionally, and maybe one day I'll get there. So I think that's all of the stuff. As far as upcoming content for this channel, I've got a couple of things that I'm working on currently. And you'll notice I haven't shaved in a few days. And one of the reasons that I haven't shaved yet is because I have a Life in Motion Diaries channel planned that I'm going to try to shoot today that involves me shaving. And I didn't want to shave before I made that video. But anyway, upcoming content on this channel. Somebody had recommended in the comments, because I've interviewed my mom a couple of times, and I still have this interview sort of sitting out here I need to do with her, basically talking about, her and my dad. and we just need to sit down and video that. But somebody suggested in the comments that I do a video with my daughters on what they think about the channel. And I thought that was really interesting. And so the stars sort of aligned. Last Friday, my oldest daughter graduated from the Avita School of Cosmetology, and I went over to her graduation, and my middle daughter, Elise, was there. And so I sat them down. I had 10 questions. I sat them down and asked them the 10 questions, videoed that. And my youngest daughter, Sarah, came up from Florida this week. So she's coming by to see me tomorrow on Wednesday, and we will film her interview. And if I can get that edited in time, that might be this week's video. I'd love to just get it up. But if not, it should be next week's video. It's meant to be kind of fun. Actually, what I did, I went into Perplexity AI. If you know me, you know that I love Perplexity AI. And I said, I have this YouTube channel and it covers these kinds of topics. And I have 3 adult daughters, and I would like to interview them about their thoughts about the channel and my quote unquote success on the channel, how they feel about that. Give me 10 questions I can ask, and it's okay to make a couple of them humorous. And I really liked the questions, so that's the questions we used. The responses so far are really, really good. I can't wait to hear Sarah's tomorrow. After going to the Master Garden Tour, well, I hope so, Rhonda. I hope everybody enjoys meeting them. I kind of like them. But after doing the Master Garden Tour video the other day, I sat down with my mom because, 30 years ago, when she was in her 60s, she was a master gardener, a self-taught master gardener, and developed this beautiful garden around our house. And over the years, as she's been more and more unable to go outside and do that work. I mean, she did all the weeding and the flower planting and mulching and watering and whatever. Over the course of time, the flower beds and the trees have just sort of all grown up with weeds, and the trees needed to be pruned. And so we sat down and talked about that because I want her to be able to look out into the backyard and see as close to what she used to have as she can. So we hired a company. They came yesterday and started. They're weeding all the flower beds. They're pruning back all the trees and the shrubs. They're going to remulch everything. And then we'll start looking at what flowers need to be planted and what needs to be replaced and all of that. But so I've made sort of a little bit of a video leading up to the end product. They're supposed to be done today if it doesn't rain. And so hopefully I can go out either late this afternoon or tomorrow and video the end result. That will also be a video on this channel because I've had people that have been asking about some of the things around the house. So Ron, I totally agree. She's very lucky. I think she thinks that. So anyway, that's a couple of things that are coming up on the channel pretty soon. Now, it is 7:15. I have my blinds open over here on my main door, and I see that the workers have shown up. So if somebody, I don't think they'll knock on the door to tell me they're here and they're going to get started. I think they'll just start to work. But if they do, I may have to step away for a minute. So if I do step away for a minute, somebody comes online and they're like, "Where is he?" Somebody just tell him he's answering the door. Yeah, Rhonda, it is. I've wanted to do this. I've wanted to do a garden tour around the house, but it was just not photographable. It wasn't videoable in its present state. And they've trimmed back the crepe myrtle trees. They're going to take down a dead dogwood tree in the back. They've pulled weeds that I don't know how they got it all done. But the Pacific Northwest, Connie, you are up early. Welcome to the live stream. I see we've got 28 here right now, so that's it's doing pretty good. I've had a few people ask, can you start your live stream a little later? And I don't know, maybe I'll put a poll out about that at some point. Typically at 8 o'clock in the morning, it's one of the reasons why I tried to end this video a little before 8. But typically around 8 o'clock in the morning, I am going upstairs to talk to Mom for a little bit, and we're kind of getting started on the day. So I was trying to get this done before that, but if I need to start it at 8 o'clock, we'll rearrange our time together one day a month. I don't know if that would be a big issue or not. Ron, get those 5 miles in, dude. You're making me look bad, but you go. My daughter Sarah, when she was texting me about coming over tomorrow, she's a little nervous about doing the interview. She's afraid that she'll mess it up. There's no way to mess it up. But she said, when we get done and after I visit with Mama, can we go for a walk somewhere? Like, one of the parks around? And I'm like, a walk? It'll be 90 degrees. But we're going for a walk, and I won't be videoing it. So. And if you're watching my other channels, there was a photography video that went up at 7 o'clock this morning, and it's like less than 5 minutes long. I had to make a video, so I made a video. Kind of like on my Life in Motion Diaries channel, doing one video every day for a year. Some days it wasn't much of a video, but it got posted. So that's kind of the way the photography one is today. As far as other things go, I have everything, I think, pretty much in place for the October trip to Scotland. And I have mentioned before, I think it was in the live stream that Ron and I did, that instead of doing, posting a Monday, Wednesday, Friday video on the Life in Motion Diaries channel during my trip there, I think I'm going to do a live stream every day from somewhere in Scotland that will be on the Life in Motion Diaries channel. So sometime before October, you might want to subscribe to that channel so you can get notifications. And then after the trip, you can unsubscribe if you want to. That's fine. Anyway, it's really interesting because I booked a flight from Chattanooga to Atlanta, from Atlanta to Edinburgh, and then coming back, the flight is from Edinburgh to Boston, and Boston to Atlanta, and Atlanta to Chattanooga. I couldn't get a straight flight back to Chattanooga unless I wanted to pay another, $800-900. So I have been watching that, thinking maybe at some point, and I know when it's going to happen, I've just kind of been watching it out of curiosity. Maybe at some point it will be affordable to upgrade to first class, either on the Atlanta to Edinburgh leg or the Edinburgh to Boston leg, just because the flights are long. And so I've been looking at the flight from Chattanooga to Atlanta. That's a 20-minute flight. That's 20 minutes in the air. And that, when I first booked the flight, it was $48 to upgrade to first class. Now keep in mind, we're talking about a puddle jumper plane, so first class is really like the seat right in front of where I already am. And then it went to about $250. And right now it's $342. The first class leg upgrade from Atlanta to Edinburgh was a little over $1,200 at one point. It's almost $3,500 now. It's interesting to watch how the airline changes their pricing structure over time. And I do know that about 30 days prior to the flight is probably when it's going to be at its lowest, if there are any seats left. And that's what I did when I went to Rome last time. I got the upgrade to first class on one leg of my flight, and it was only like, I don't know, $600, something like that. And so when you're traveling, it's really interesting, even after you've booked your ticket. Now, I always book a ticket that's upgradable. I could pay less for basic economy and be stuck in basic economy. And you cannot upgrade even if you're willing to pay. You're just stuck. I don't ever do that. I get the most comfortable seat I can that I can still afford. And roughly, flights from Chattanooga to Rome or Chattanooga to London or Chattanooga to Edinburgh, roughly those flights will be anywhere from $900 to $1,100 round trip. And so I don't quibble over, is it an extra $100? But I also don't pay $6,000 to go first class. So when you are booking your flights, I would recommend that you book a flight that is upgradable just in case, and then kind of watch, because you might be surprised. There might be an upgrade available at some point that is really super affordable, and everybody should go first class at least once, just once. It will ruin you for life, but everybody should go at least once if you can afford it. This is what happened to me. I've told this story before, but this is what happened to me when I moved home from the UK. My wife had already left. She'd gone back to Florida. We were in the process of looking. Well, we were separated. We were thinking about divorce. My kids had already flown back to Chattanooga. They were with my mom. They were waiting on me. I was shutting things down and getting the new Christian Servicemen Center director kind of, acclimated. And I went to London to get on my plane, and that was back when you couldn't check in online. You had to go to the ticket counter. You had to have a paper ticket. And so I went to the counter, and the lady was very apologetic, and she said, "Sir, would you mind horribly if we upgraded you to first class?" Let me think about that for a minute. No, I wouldn't mind that at all. So that was my very first class flight. And that's been, man, how long ago has that been? That's been between 25 and 30 years ago. It was nice. It was nice having it done for free. It's very nice having it done for free. I'll just remind you here as I'm just sort of rambling on for a little bit. If you've got questions, feel free to put them in the comments. I'll try to address them as best I can. We have 31 online right now, and I'm always blown away that people show up this early in the morning, and I'm also very blown away that they show up from all over the world. When you look at the analytics of the channel, about 75% of my views come from the United States. And so 25% of my views are somewhere else in the world. Rhonda, what is my plan for today? Well, it's pretty simple. I'm going to be here at the apartment in case these guys need to ask me any questions about working in the yard. I'm going to try to create a video this morning for the Life in Motion Diaries channel tomorrow. And then at 1 o'clock, I am taking my mom to the dentist for an unexpected kind of visit that we didn't know we needed to do. And that will be the extent of today. I'm thinking there's a possibility if it doesn't rain, I might go downtown around dark, or as the lights are getting lower, to do some video work downtown in the evening. But I'm not sure if that's going to be today or not. But that's sort of the plan. Now, if I can also record a new video for this channel in the process of that, I've got 4 or 5 outlines that I'm working on. I'm not really sure any of them are actually ready to be recorded yet. But if I could do that, I would love to have at least one more video done ready for this channel. So that's kind of today. The other thing about the analytics on this channel is that even now, I mean, I just pulled it up this morning, and when you go into YouTube Studio, the default is to show you what's happened in the last 28 days. So the default is 4 weeks. And I went to my most viewed content in the last 4 weeks. And the top 3, number 1 with 19,000 views is how to cook a pot roast like a steak, or chuck roast like a steak. Still. And the second most viewed video in the last 28 days is the Master Garden Tour. I think it has about 9,000 views. And the third most watched video is getting rid of 35 years of stuff from a year ago, 2 years ago. Still in the top 5 videos every month. So, you know, this is one of the things that I try to remind people about YouTube, is that it's not about the fact that you made a video and uploaded it today and a week from now you've got 500 views. It's not about that. It's about 2 years from now, is it still getting views and contributing to your bottom line? And I have a number of videos that just consistently wind up in the top 10 or 15 every single month. And I will say again that the cooking a chuck roast like a ribeye is my least favorite cooking video. And now it is the second most watched video on my channel. You just never know. Ever, ever, ever. Yeah, Connie, I think about food all day too. You know, I would love to go out, and one of these days I will. Every so often I take a break from eating carnivore. I shouldn't, but I do. Either I'm going out to dinner with someone and their restaurant of choice is not carnivore friendly. You know, I don't turn up my nose and say, oh, I can't eat there. I just go, I eat what's there. And yeah, low carb recipes for sure. And so a lot of times once I sort of get off the wagon, I try to climb back up the next day and minimize the damage. But sometimes, like this last time, which was Friday, I stayed off the wagon on Saturday, and then I stayed off the wagon on Sunday, making that double cheeseburger video. And then trying to get back to, so yesterday I was back on the wagon again. But one of these days, when I am off the wagon, I would love to video some places to eat downtown Chattanooga, especially a couple of donut shops that I really like. So you know, it's not all about the coffee. Oh, sourdough pretzels. Oh, yes. Oh, there is a place that sells those fresh at the Chattanooga market. And every time, I've never bought one, but every time I go there, I just stand there in front of the case and watch them twirl around, let my mouth water a little bit. Maybe one of these days I need to buy one. But sourdough anything is really, really good. Let's see, Northeastern Pennsylvania. WGOW. Oh yeah, okay. I have a friend of mine, I don't remember what the station is, but I have a friend of mine that I've known for 30, 40 years. His radio name is Mike Lee. And he left radio for a while after a thyroid cancer surgery. And he's back on the radio now, and he started a new channel or a new playlist somewhere in Cleveland. I need to go back and find the call letters for that because I just discovered this 3 weeks ago. He's one of the best DJs I've ever heard. He's just great. So if you're listening to a Cleveland station and you hear Mike Lee, he's my buddy. Robin, I don't know if you watched the interview that I did with the lady from Our Gabled Home, but her whole deal is sourdough, and her videos are just amazing. And if I could recommend a subscription, it would be to her channel if you're really into sourdough. She's really, really good. And I can give you a list of really good restaurants in the area. So when you are getting ready a little closer to time to get here, send me an email at thenewretiredme@gmail.com. Excuse me, tell me kind of what your overall plan is. Because sometimes I give recommendations for restaurants and people don't recognize how far apart they are, and they think they can just walk from their hotel. But I will be happy to give you my choices in various areas of the city by email. I may do a video on it later. That's a great idea, but I don't know that I'll do it before October. So feel free to email me and ask me, and I will. And especially if you let me know what kind of food you really like, if you're into Italian, if you're into Mexican, or if you like deli, if you want a good steak, I can steer you in a lot of different directions in Chattanooga. We have some really amazing food at all kinds of price points. And so I'm into two things when I go out to eat. I'm into a certain type of menu that I really like, but I'm also into quirky. I like going to quirky places because the atmosphere is just as important as the food to me. We eat with our eyes, and so going to someplace kind of quirky. There you go. Thank you, Lori. Mike Lee. I won't give you his real name. I don't know if he wants that shared or not. Mike Lee was a Christian Servicemen Center director in Italy when I was in the UK, and that's how we met. And he's just a great guy. I just really like him. And he wasn't at La Maddalena. He was. There was a different Air Force base there in Italy. So hole in the wall quirky is your thing, and I can hook you up. Okay, so just email me when you're getting a little closer to making final decisions, and I'll be happy to share with you some choices you can look at. Just keep in mind that every place has its off days, and if you happen to go on an off day, don't blame me. Okay. So anyway, thanks for the shout out to Mike. I really appreciate that. I have to let him know that that I have helped support him on this live stream. Tuscaloosa. Okay, I don't remember if I've been to Tuscaloosa or not. Yeah, so we have some quirky places here that serve really good food. And if you're into desserts, we have the City Cafe that has like cake slices that are like this big. Yeah. Keep putting your questions in the comments. Red State Radio in Cleveland. I don't know about Red State Radio in Cleveland. I'm not a radio listener. I don't know if you figured that out or not. When I'm in the car, I am a YouTube Music listener or an Apple Music listener, and so I don't listen to the radio. I think we might have just about covered everything that I needed to cover today. I don't want to just be here blabbering on about, things just to get more time on here, because I don't want to mess your days up. We're up to 40 people online, 20 likes. Thank you. The likes help. Yeah. So what else have I got coming up on this channel before I let you go? There will be another camping video soon. I have a place in mind that I'd like to go. It's not the right time of year to go, but it is someplace I want to go check out on an overnight camping trip. And I think that this might be a time when there's not a lot of people there. So I'll just sort of leave that in the ether, and you can figure that out later. Thank you so much. I appreciate the compliment. Yeah, so watch out for the garden tour video. Watch out for the daughter interview video. I'll try to get around to doing the mom interview video here pretty soon. I do some videos on minimalism and decluttering and those kinds of things. And sometimes those get a lot of views. That's not what my channel is about. My channel is really about me. It's about whatever the heck I want to talk about or a video that week. So I get videos that get a lot of subscribers, and then when I do something else besides what they subscribe for, I get people unsubscribing. Thank you, Robin. I appreciate that. You'll finish the video long before you finish your coffee. Yeah, so it's interesting because twice now, and I'll make this my last little analytics thing, but twice now I've been around 67,500 subscribers. And twice, when I was approaching that number, I dropped about 150 subscribers. And I just did that just recently. I dropped a ton of subscribers almost overnight. And I know YouTube does a purge of, channels that are not active any longer or all that kind of stuff. I also get people who tell me in the comments, I subscribed to your channel, but I noticed I wasn't getting any notifications, and I went back and I was no longer subscribed to your channel, so I've resubscribed. I don't know why that happens. But we have clawed our way back almost to 67,500 subscribers. So I'm hoping that this time we can kind of get a little bit over that hill because I still have that 100,000 subscriber thing out there to sort of gamify my channel a little bit. That's the goal. But I'm not trying to create clickbaity thumbnails or clickbaity content that will just grab, another 20,000 subscribers in one video. not trying to do that. I'm just watching it. I'm just letting it happen, and it's fun. Good morning, Edie. How are you today? Welcome. We're just about to shut down, so I appreciate you coming along. I talk about how you teach helpful YouTube tips. Well, thank you. I try. There are a couple of channels that you can, if you are an aspiring content creator, this is like the fourth time I'm going to say I'll end with this. But if you're an aspiring content creator, don't forget about the grant. We'll make sure you've got a link to the grant in the video. But there are some channels that you might want to look at, channels that I watch from time to time. Rob the Maritimer has a pretty good channel on creating content. Gabe Bolt now has some videos out on creating content. And has started sort of a school of sorts on that. 4:40 in the morning. Whoo, yeah. I was up at 4:15 this morning, but I didn't go live. Well, thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. For those of you that can't see the comment, they're a subscriber and they love everything I do, no matter what the topic is. So, I may reach out to Rob at some point. He's a very personable person, but there's another channel whose name has just escaped me. And I'm really sorry about that. And he and Rob are doing some live streams together. So if you're watching Rob's channel, you might find the one I'm talking about. And they do, not all their information is correct. For instance, one of the things that Rob talked about in a recent live stream is that, and it's something that he got wrong, is that if you watch a video and you watch it at 2 times speed, he claims that you still get credit for watching the entire time of the video. So a 10-minute video watched at 2 times speed, you can watch it in 5 minutes and you still get credit for 10 minutes of watch time. That is incorrect. You only get credit for the amount of time eyes are actually on the screen. So if you're watching a 10-minute video at 2 times speed, which a lot of people watch at like 1.25 times, just to kind of, speed things along a little bit. I don't really care what speed you watch my videos at. I'm not trying to advocate for anything here, but creators only get credit for the 5 minutes you actually watch. The other thing is that if you click on a video to start watching, that's a view. And if you have to click off the video because you got to go to the bathroom or you need to go to the grocery store or whatever, and you come back later and you click back on the video and it resumes where you left off, that's still one view. That was a question I had until I did a little research on it the other day. So, I'm to the point now, I don't care what speed people watch my videos because it's not going to impact my watch hours and I'm not going to lose monetization over it. The fact that they're watching it at all is a blessing to me. If you're a content creator with 500 subscribers and you're getting, 1,000 watch hours in the last year and you're trying to build that to get monetized, if you find a channel like that, if at all possible, watch the video at the regular speed, because they need your help, okay? All right, I think I'm done. We now have 45 people online. Thank you all. I'm gonna go up and say good morning to my mom. Thank you, Robin, I appreciate that. She says that I'm one channel, she doesn't feel the need to speed up. Some people do because sometimes I talk slow, so whatever. And thank you very much. I think everything will go fine with Mom today, but you know, she's a little apprehensive about it, as always. Who doesn't get a little apprehensive going to the dentist? So anyway, we will see you all in the next video. Thank you all so much for watching and sticking around. And if you came in late, go back to the beginning, start over, watch the live stream. We'll catch you all next time. Thank you.